You wake up in the morning, but instead of feeling rested, you feel the same weight pressing down on your chest. The alarm screams, your phone lights up with notifications, and instantly reality hits, emails you. Does that sound like you? Because it was me. And it's most people I meet. The endless cycle of starting strong, burning out, and quitting too soon. The promises made on New Year's Eve broken before spring. The fitness plan abandoned. The side hustle left half finished. The dream put back on the shelf. Why does it happen? Because we've been told the lie that change has to be massive. That success is about one giant leap. That transformation happens overnight. But that's why so many stay stuck, because they wait for a moment that never comes. Here's the wake-up call. Your life doesn't change in a single dramatic gesture. It changes in the small, quiet decisions you make every day. That's where the real power lies. 1%, that's it. Improve yourself 1% each day and you will never be the same again. Now I know what you're thinking, how can 1% matter? It sounds so small, so insignificant, but let me tell you, 1% is everything. It's the difference between quitting and continuing, between another year wasted and a future you're proud of. Because 1% isn't about math, it's about mindset. It's about proving to yourself that progress is possible. Even when life feels impossible. Think about it, you don't build financial freedom by throwing in your life savings all at once. You build it by making deposits every day, letting compound interest turn pennies into power. That's exactly what happens with your habits, your skills, your mindset. Small daily deposits, a page read, a workout finished, a dollar saved, a risk taken. None of them look life-changing in the moment, but stack day after day. That's how you rewrite your story. Let me show you the two roads most people face. The first is wide, bright, and tempting. It's the road of instant results, quick fixes, big promises, crash diets, overnight businesses. This will change your life in 30 days. But you know where that road leads, you've walked it before. It's littered with broken promises and abandoned dreams. The second road is narrow, quieter, less glamorous. It asks you for less, just 1% today. One choice, one small step. But here's the secret, that road leads somewhere. That road takes you to the version of yourself you've always wanted to meet. Most people never take it. Most people quit right before the breakthrough. They mistake struggle for failure when in truth struggle is the doorway. But not you, not anymore. If you've listened this far, something inside you is awake. Something inside you is tired of waiting, tired of being trapped in the same patterns, tired of living small. You're ready to move. And all it takes, all it has ever taken, is 1%. Maybe today that 1% is a 10-minute walk instead of hitting snooze. Maybe it's writing down your goal instead of letting it stay trapped in your head. Maybe it's choosing water over soda, reading a page instead of scrolling. 1% isn't glamorous. It won't make headlines. But 1 year from now, you'll look back and realize that And here's the truth that no one else will tell you. 1% is enough to start, but it doesn't stay 1%, it multiplies. Because action builds habits, habits build identity, and identity shapes destiny. The person you are today is not the person you have to stay, but you'll never meet the stronger version of yourself if you keep waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. There is only this morning, this choice, this 1%. So I'm asking you, no. I'm challenging you, don't leave this video the same person who pressed play. Decide right now to take your 1%. Decide right now to put down the weight of perfection and pick up the power of progress. Decide to start. Because if you do, if you keep choosing that 1%, I promise you will look back with pride and wonder why you ever doubted yourself. And before we go further, I need you to do one thing. If this message hits you, if something inside of you feels like it's waking up, then subscribe to this channel. Not just as support for me, but as a commitment to yourself. Because every time you come back, you're feeding that 1%. You're reminding yourself that growth is possible, that change is real, that your life is worth the fight. With your support, I can keep pouring into these words, keep building these videos, and together we'll keep getting better, 1% every single day. This is your awakening, this is your chance, don't waste it. It's easy to get caught in the idea that success must be grand, that the road to transformation is paved with dramatic moments, that the big breakthroughs are the ones that matter. We live in a world that glorifies overnight success, the Instagram highlights of quick victories, and the showy, loud moments that seem to make all the difference. But here's the reality. Success doesn't require you to leap across a chasm in one giant bound. It requires small, deliberate steps. And those steps are the real power behind the transformation you're looking for. Start small. It's not a weakness. It's a strategy. Take a moment and think about your life right now. If you're like most people, you're juggling a million things at once. Maybe you're a student drowning in debt, struggling to balance studying with working a part-time job just to make ends meet. You're waking up early only to stay up late, and somewhere in between. You're trying to keep your head above water. Or perhaps you're a professional stuck in the endless loop of office politics and unmanageable workloads, caught in traffic every day, feeling like you're moving but not really going anywhere. Maybe you're a single parent juggling multiple jobs just to provide a roof over your children's heads, constantly pulled in every direction, feeling like you're giving your all but wondering if it's ever enough. You're not alone. We all have our struggles. But here's the thing, in those moments when it feels like you're trapped by circumstances, the answer isn't to make some monumental shift overnight. The answer lies in one small step. One small decision today that compounds tomorrow and the next day and the next. That's how change happens. It's not about tackling everything at once or about making dramatic moves. It's about choosing to start. I know it's tempting to think you need to make huge changes to see results, but the truth is, starting small isn't a limitation. It's exactly what you need. Think of the everyday American who faces huge challenges. The student in debt, the office worker stuck in the grind, the single parent balancing life's relentless demands. These aren't people who can afford to make dramatic life changes on a whim. But what they can afford, what they have the power to do, is make one decision today, one step, just one action that sets them on a path. Maybe it's saving just $1 today, just $1. Not a fortune, not an investment that will change your life right away, but a simple, manageable goal that tells your brain, I can do this. It could be as simple as reading one page of a book or walking for 5 minutes when you're exhausted from your day. But each of these actions, small and seemingly insignificant, moves you in the direction you want to go. That's the power of small decisions. Think about it. Every major accomplishment, every person who's achieved something remarkable did not do it by taking one massive leap. They did it step by step each day with consistency. One person saved that dollar, then two, then five, and eventually they didn't just get out of debt, they built wealth. Another person spent 5 minutes walking, then 10, then 20. Eventually they were not just physically stronger but mentally sharper too. Every small action compounded into something extraordinary. This is the lesson. Starting small isn't about thinking small. It's about building momentum, creating habits that serve you, and choosing to act in spite of fear. Because the fear of failure, the fear of not knowing how to begin, it's what keeps most people stuck. It paralyzes us. We look at the mountain and think, there's no way I can climb that, it's too big. But what if the answer isn't to climb the mountain all at once? What if the answer is to lay the first stone, then the next? What if it's not about the summit, but about the journey, the small actions that get you there? The process of building brick by brick is powerful. Imagine trying to build a bridge over the Grand Canyon. That's what success feels like sometimes, huge, impossible, out of reach. But here's the secret, you don't need to build the entire bridge in one go. You need to lay one brick, then another, then another. With every brick you're getting closer. With every step, you're proving to yourself that the goal is possible. And each small victory is another brick in your foundation. Think of this, every small decision today will add up over time. $1 saved today might not change your life immediately, but at the end of the year you'll have saved $365. One page read today might seem trivial, but by the end of the year you'll have read 365 pages. Imagine the knowledge you'll have gained. Small steps, small decisions, that's where the power lies. When you start small, you remove the fear of failure because you realize that small steps are manageable, not overwhelming. You give yourself permission to begin, and that's what most people miss. They wait for the perfect moment, for the grand leap, for everything to align. But life isn't about waiting for the perfect moment, it's about making the most of this moment. You don't need to be perfect, you don't need to be a superhero, you just need to take that first step. So today, as you go through your day, I want you to think about one small thing you can do. One tiny change you can make that moves you toward the person you want to become. It doesn't have to be huge, it doesn't have to be dramatic, but it has to be intentional. Just choose one thing that you can commit to today. That's how it starts. You don't need to climb the mountain today, but you do need to take the first step. The power is in your hands. It's always been in your hands. And the moment you realize that starting small is a strategy, not a limitation, is the moment your life begins to shift. It's not about thinking small, it's about thinking big enough to trust that small actions will get you there. One brick, one step, 1% better every day, that's all you need. Each day you wake up, you are given a chance to write a new chapter in your life's story. It might seem insignificant at first, just another day to get through. But when you realize that every action, no matter how small, is a choice that shapes your future, everything changes. Every day becomes a micro story, a tiny decision that leads to the next. You're not just surviving each day. You're writing the narrative of your success, one sentence, one decision at a time. Let me ask you, what does your story look like right now? Are you moving forward? Are you writing the life you want, or are you simply waiting for something to happen? The truth is, we often wait for external forces to change things for us. But the real transformation happens when we realize that we hold the pen. We are the ones deciding what the next chapter will be, whether we like it or not. Every action, no matter how small, is a page in that story. Think about the concept of compound interest. We understand it in terms of money. Small investments grow over time, building interest, multiplying, turning into something much bigger than the original deposit. But the same principle applies to our lives. Those small decisions you make today, they compound. Every little choice to be better, to improve by just 1%, stacks up in ways you can't always see in the moment. But over time, you'll look back and realize that these small actions have turned into something powerful. Let me give you an example. You wake up in the morning and the last thing you want to do is get out of bed. You're tired, you're overwhelmed, you're already dreading the day ahead. But you know deep down that you have a choice to make. You can press snooze and let the day slip away, or you can take a small step that will shift the entire trajectory of your life. Maybe it's simply deciding to get out of bed and walk for 5 minutes. That's it, just 5 minutes. It doesn't feel like much, does it? But that one choice, the choice to move even when your body wants to stay still, sets a tone for the rest of the day. The power of compound interest isn't just about money, it's about momentum. Just like a savings account with regular deposits, your decisions today will grow, they will accumulate, they will multiply. That 5-minute walk turns into more energy, which turns into better choices throughout the day. A small choice to invest in your health leads to a bigger decision to eat better, which turns into more focus at work, which leads to better results in your career. And one day you'll look back and realize that these small choices led to a transformation far beyond what you could have imagined. But here's the thing, the journey isn't always about grand gestures. It's not about waiting for a massive breakthrough. It's about small wins that add up over time. It's about the decisions you make when no one is watching, when you're exhausted, when it's easier to just give in. But you choose something better. Even when you feel tired, even when it seems like nothing will change, you show up anyway. In American culture, we're used to this idea. We see it all around us, the gym culture, the hustle culture, the self-made mindset. It's what we hear on podcasts, what we see on social media, what we're told by successful entrepreneurs. Athletes and influencers. Get up, work harder, grind, hustle. We're told to push, to strive, to always be chasing something bigger. But here's the truth that often gets overlooked. You don't have to hustle 24/7 to see change. What you really need is consistency. Consistency in your daily choices. Not just in the big, flashy moments, but in the quiet ones that no one notices. Because those are the moments that matter. Those are the moments that build the foundation of success. Every choice you make, whether it's to get up and walk, to read a page of a book, to eat a healthier meal, or even to just take a deep breath and stay calm under pressure, that's what builds your future. Here's where it gets interesting. In our modern culture, we're constantly bombarded with messages about how to achieve the impossible. You're told to wake up at 5 a.m., to hit the gym, to launch a business, to become a millionaire by 30. While there's nothing wrong with having big dreams, those kinds of extreme expectations can make us feel like we're constantly failing. The truth is, you don't need to conquer the world in one day. What you need is to be consistent, to make a decision every single day that you are not going to give up on yourself. Because when you don't give up, even on the smallest decisions, you win. And every time you win, even in the smallest way, your momentum grows, you build confidence, you trust yourself more. You begin to believe that the life you want is possible, not because of one big leap, but because of the steady, consistent steps you're taking every single day. So what does 1% look like for you today? Maybe it's setting your alarm 5 minutes earlier so you can meditate before work. Maybe it's putting down your phone for 5 minutes to focus on something important. Maybe it's deciding that today you'll go for a walk or do one push-up or read one page of a book. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be intentional. One of the keys to this idea is something I like to call the 5-minute upgrade. It's a small, simple idea, but it's powerful. Each day, find one small thing you can do that takes no more than 5 minutes, but that will move you closer to your goal. Maybe it's writing a sentence for your book, sending a quick email, practicing a new skill. Just 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes done every day add up. They build momentum and they lead you to the next step. The power of daily choices isn't just about achieving success. It's about becoming the kind of person who always chooses to move forward even in the smallest ways. It's about looking at your life and saying, I don't have to be perfect. I just have to keep moving. I just have to show up. And when you do, those small choices stack up. Compounding like interest. The small efforts today lead to big results tomorrow. You see, the compound effect isn't about making huge strides every day. It's about making steady progress and trusting that the momentum will carry you to where you want to be. It's about the choice you make to show up for yourself. It's about deciding that every day, no matter how tired you are, you'll give just a little bit more. Because in the end, it's not about the mountain you're trying to climb. It's about the steps you take every day, one foot in front of the other. And one day you'll look up and realize that you've climbed higher than you ever thought possible, simply because you took one small step every day. You know how easy it is to slip into autopilot. The alarm rings and without thinking you hit snooze. You move through your morning routine without paying attention, like a robot doing the same things day in and day out. Coffee, shower, check phone, get dressed, go to work. Your actions, automatic and ingrained, don't require much effort, but they shape your life whether you realize it or not. The truth is, habits control far more of your life than you think. In fact, they are the real architects of your future. Everything you do every day, whether consciously or unconsciously, is creating a version of yourself. The person you are today is built on the habits you've developed over time, for better or for worse. Most people think they need to make huge changes in their life to achieve success, but in reality, small habits compound over time to shape your future. You don't need a massive overhaul to change your life. You need small, intentional habits that you can stick with every day. It's like laying the first few bricks to build a house, seemingly small actions that add up to something far more powerful than you can imagine. Let me show you how powerful habits really are. Imagine that you're walking into your day on autopilot. You don't think about how you wake up, what you eat, or what you prioritize. But in those actions, you're shaping the direction of your future. If you wake up at the last possible second, rush through your morning, and grab something quick and unhealthy to eat, you are reinforcing a cycle. But if instead you wake up a little earlier, take a moment to appreciate what you have, stretch your body and read or journal for a few minutes, you're building momentum towards success. That's how powerful small daily actions can be. These seemingly small steps are the key to unlocking your potential. Neuroscience tells us that our brains are incredibly adaptable. The term neuroplasticity refers to the brain's ability to reorganize and form new neural connections. This means that by practicing new habits consistently, we can physically change our brains and rewire them for success. Think about that for a moment. When you form a habit, whether it's eating healthy, reading, or exercising, you're literally changing the structure of your brain. Each small action is creating a new neural pathway, making the behavior easier to repeat over time. The more you repeat a habit, the stronger those pathways become. This is why habits can be so powerful. They are the foundation of who you become. On an emotional level, the habits you cultivate shape your self-respect. When you commit to a routine that supports your goals, whether it's making healthier choices or investing time in learning, you feel good about yourself. You begin to trust yourself, to see yourself as someone who shows up consistently, who follows through. This builds self-confidence. The kind of confidence that doesn't come from accolades or external recognition, but from knowing you can depend on yourself. The social aspect of habits is equally important. Think about your social circle, your environment. We all know that the people around us influence us in profound ways. When you surround yourself with people who prioritize growth, positivity, and discipline, their habits influence you. Just as bad habits can rub off on you, good habits can as well. Take Silicon Valley, for example. It's the epicenter of innovation and entrepreneurship, where billion-dollar companies have started in garages. Why is that? It's not just about having the next big idea, it's about the consistent daily habits that lead to success. Think about the habits of entrepreneurs who started companies like Apple or Google. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions. They worked day after day, building routines that supported their vision. The success didn't come from one sudden explosive moment. It came from habits that over time compounded into world-changing results. Building habits isn't about forcing yourself to be perfect. It's about being consistent, about finding something small that you can commit to every single day. You don't have to run a marathon on day one, but you can start by walking for 10 minutes. You don't need to read a book in one sitting, but you can read a page each day. Start with something manageable, and as you build momentum, increase the challenge. Here's a simple but powerful activity. I call it the morning anchor routine. Every morning, dedicate just 10 minutes to setting the tone for your day. Start with 3 minutes of gratitude, appreciating what you have in your life right now. It can be as simple as being thankful for a roof over your head or a loved one by your side. Follow that with 2 minutes of stretching, letting your body awaken and feel energized. Finish with 5 minutes of reading. Whether it's a book that inspires you, an article that challenges your perspective, or journaling to clarify your thoughts. That's 10 minutes, the smallest investment of time that can lead to a massive return. The power is in the consistency. Over time, this morning anchor routine will anchor your mindset and set the stage for a productive day. Consistency is the key. It's not about getting everything perfect, it's about showing up day after day. When you build a habit, you build self-respect, you build confidence, and most importantly, you build a future that reflects your commitment. Let me remind you that you are always one habit away from changing your life. Every small choice you make is a brick in the foundation of the person you are becoming. Every decision to improve, no matter how small, creates momentum that leads to bigger, more impactful changes. So what's one habit you can start today? It doesn't have to be monumental, it just needs to be consistent. You're building more than just a routine, you're building your future. Every time you choose a positive habit, you are shaping your tomorrow. The results may not be visible today, but with time, they will be undeniable. And it all starts with one small, consistent choice. There's something powerful about small wins. You felt it before, haven't you? That rush of pride when you cross something off your to-do list, even if it's just a small task. It's not about the size of the win, it's about the feeling it gives you. It's that tiny spark of accomplishment that tells you, I did it. It might seem insignificant in the moment, but here's the truth. Those small wins are the fuel that powers the big dreams you're chasing. We often underestimate the power of these small victories, yet they hold the key to building lasting change. That feeling you get when you finish something, whether it's finishing a task at work, completing a workout, or even just having a productive day, is directly tied to the release of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. Every time you make progress, no matter how small, dopamine floods your system, giving you a sense of achievement and reinforcing the behavior that led to it. This is your brain's way of telling you, you're on the right track, keep going. It's no surprise then that the brain craves that dopamine hit. It wants to repeat the actions that lead to success, however small they may seem. This is why small wins are so powerful. They don't just feel good in the moment, they condition you to keep going. They create momentum. And momentum is the true secret to achieving long-term success. Picture this, a snowball rolling down a hill in Central Park. At first it's small, barely noticeable. But as it rolls, it picks up more snow, it gains size, and before you know it, it's unstoppable. The same thing happens in your life when you start celebrating small wins. The first win might feel tiny, like a pebble being thrown into a stream. But as you continue to win, those wins compound. The snowball effect kicks in, and with every win, no matter how small, you become stronger, more confident, and more capable of facing the next challenge. The beauty of small wins is that they're accessible to everyone, no matter where you are in life. You don't need to accomplish something massive every day. All you need is the ability to recognize and celebrate the little things. Did you make your bed this morning? That's a win. Did you stick to your workout plan for 15 minutes? That's a win. Did you take 5 minutes to read something that inspires you? Another win. These wins may seem trivial, but they matter. Each one reinforces the belief that you are capable, that you can make progress, and that you are moving closer to your goals. Here's an activity that you can start today to harness the power of small wins. Celebrate micro victories. Every evening, write down 3 small wins from your day. It doesn't matter how insignificant they seem at first, just acknowledge them. This simple exercise does 2 things. First, it trains your mind to focus on what's going right instead of what's going wrong. And second, it boosts your self-confidence. You begin to realize that you're doing more than you think. You're making progress, and that progress, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your bigger goals. But there's more to it than just feeling good about your progress. Small wins don't just impact you, they affect the people around you too. When you celebrate your victories, you not only feel more confident, but you also radiate that confidence to others. People around you notice your energy shift. Your friends, family, colleagues, they can see the difference. You become someone who is proactive, who is taking action, and who is moving forward. This creates a ripple effect in your relationships. Your enthusiasm, your determination, your belief in yourself, these qualities inspire others to do the same. The more you celebrate your small wins, the more you attract positivity and momentum into your life. Think about the people you admire. What do they all have in common? They all seem to carry this magnetic energy, a belief in their own success, a sense of unstoppable drive. But it's not because they've achieved some grand, life-changing victory in a single moment. It's because they've been stacking small wins for years. They've made celebrating progress a habit. And because of that habit, they've built a life that reflects their inner belief in themselves. Small wins are the foundation of your self-belief. Every time you acknowledge your progress, you reinforce the idea that you are capable. You begin to trust yourself more, to believe that you can keep going, that you can reach your goals. This emotional power doesn't just stay inside you, it spreads outward. Your confidence shines through everything you do, and it shapes how others see you. The more you celebrate these victories, the more you show up as the best version of yourself, ready to take on bigger challenges and achieve bigger goals. But there's another layer to this. Small wins fuel your big dreams. When you start to see how far you've come, you begin to think bigger. Those small wins aren't just markers on a path, they're stepping stones towards something greater. Each small victory gives you the energy, the belief, and the courage to tackle the next step. Let's be honest, the journey to your big dreams isn't going to be easy. There will be days when you feel like you're not making enough progress. You'll look at the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, and it'll seem impossibly wide. But in those moments, you need to remind yourself that success isn't about giant leaps. It's about consistency. It's about showing up every day, no matter how small the win. Take a moment to reflect. How many times have you let small setbacks or lack of progress stop you from moving forward? How often have you quit before the miracle happened because the progress wasn't visible? The key to achieving your big dreams is to keep going, even when it feels like nothing's changing. You need to trust the process and keep celebrating the small wins. The results might not always be immediate, but over time the compound effect will be undeniable. So start today. Celebrate your micro victories, write them down, acknowledge them. Take a moment to feel proud of how far you've come. Then use that energy to fuel your next win. It doesn't have to be big, just take the next step. And when you look back in a year or 5 years or 10, you'll be amazed at how far you've come, and you'll understand that every single small win led you to where you are now. Your dreams will no longer feel distant. They'll be your reality, built on the foundation of small victories. The emotional power of small wins is a force to be reckoned with. And when you harness that power, when you make it a part of your daily routine, nothing can stop you. Small wins don't just change your mood, they change your life. Discipline, it's a word that strikes different chords in different people. For some, it's a heavy burden, a relentless force that pushes them to give up comforts in exchange for hard work. For others, it's a badge of honor, something to wear proudly, a measure of strength and commitment. But here's the truth that most people don't realize: discipline is freedom. Yes, you read that right. Discipline is not the chains that hold you back from living your best life. It's the key that unlocks the doors to everything you want. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Think about it. You want to lose weight, but your body resists the workout. You want to save money, but you're tempted to spend it on things you don't need. You want to grow your career, but distractions and procrastination are always there, pulling you away from your goals. Discipline is the ability to push through that resistance, to make the choices that move you toward your long-term vision, even when the short-term feels uncomfortable. It's like training for the Boston Marathon. When you first start, the process is painful. Your legs ache, your body screams at you to stop. It's the early mornings, the cold air, the constant exhaustion. It's not easy. But if you keep pushing, if you keep showing up every day, something incredible happens. Your body grows stronger. The pain fades. What was once a struggle becomes second nature. And eventually you're crossing the finish line, not just in the marathon but in your life. Discipline in that sense is the training. It's uncomfortable now, but it leads to freedom later. Freedom from regret, freedom from being stuck, freedom to live the life you've always wanted. Now let's talk about the emotional side of discipline. It's not just about working hard, it's about what that work does to you deep inside. Discipline builds self-respect. Think about the last time you kept a promise to yourself. Maybe it was to wake up earlier or to stick to your exercise routine or to read that book you've been putting off. How did it feel? It felt good, didn't it? You felt a sense of pride because you followed through, you earned your own trust, and that's one of the most powerful feelings in the world. When you keep your promises to yourself, you build a foundation of respect that can't be shaken. You become the kind of person who is reliable, who takes action, and who doesn't back down. But here's the thing, discipline also forces you to break free from your comfort zone. If you're like most people, you crave comfort, you want the easy way out. You want to sit on the couch, eat junk food, scroll through social media, and avoid anything that feels hard. But the truth is, comfort doesn't lead to growth. Comfort keeps you where you are, stuck in the same routines, doing the same things, and getting the same results. Discipline, on the other hand, forces you to do what's hard now so that you can enjoy the results later. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, but the freedom and success that come from it are worth the struggle. And if you want to start building discipline in your life, here's an exercise I challenge you to try, the Promise-Keeping Challenge. For the next 30 days, pick one promise you'll make to yourself and keep it, no matter what. It could be something simple, like drinking an extra glass of water every day, or reading for 15 minutes before bed, or setting aside time every morning to meditate. The key is that it must be something small, something achievable, but something that requires discipline to follow through with every single day. At first, it will feel like a struggle. Your mind will tell you to skip it, to let it slide, to make an excuse. But that's exactly when discipline becomes your ally. When you push through that resistance, you start to prove to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses. You start to see that discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about showing up even when it's hard. And when you show up, you'll begin to realize that discipline isn't restrictive. It's the path to freedom. Let's talk about that for a second. Many people see discipline as a form of punishment. They think it means depriving themselves of what they enjoy or working harder than everyone else. But that's not what discipline is at all. Discipline is about making the right choices. It's about getting clear on what you want and aligning your actions with that vision. It's about creating a life that reflects your values, your goals, and your potential. And that's where the real freedom comes in. When you practice discipline, you stop wasting time on distractions. You stop negotiating with laziness. You stop questioning whether or not you're good enough. You begin to trust yourself. And that trust becomes your superpower. You don't need to rely on willpower or motivation anymore. Discipline becomes automatic. You do what you need to do because it's part of who you are. You become the person who doesn't quit, who doesn't back down, who shows up even when it's uncomfortable. But here's the truth, discipline isn't easy. It's hard, it requires consistent effort, and there will be days when you want to give up. There will be days when you're tired, discouraged, or tempted to take the easy route. But those are the moments that matter the most. Those are the moments that define you. Will you give in to comfort, or will you choose to stay disciplined and keep going? Think about the consequences of choosing comfort. It's not just about feeling good in the moment. It's about the long-term impact on your life. When you choose comfort, you're choosing regret. You're choosing to stay stuck. You're choosing to be the person who never reaches their potential. But when you choose discipline, you're choosing freedom. You're choosing to step into your true potential. You're choosing to create the life you've always dreamed of. I want you to think about your future. Imagine looking back a year from now. Will you be proud of the progress you've made? Will you have created the life you want, or will you be in the same place wishing you had made different choices? The path to success is not paved with excuses or shortcuts. It's paved with discipline, with small, consistent actions that add up over time. And every time you make a disciplined choice, you are moving closer to the person you want to become. So I challenge you, take the Promise-Keeping Challenge. Commit to something small, but make sure you follow through every day. No excuses, no shortcuts. And when you look back at the end of 30 days, you'll see how much power discipline has given you. You'll see how far you've come and realize that the real key to achieving your dreams is within your control. Discipline isn't a punishment. It's the freedom to create the life you've always wanted. It's the bridge between where you are now and where you're destined to go. There's a story that's been told countless times about the Chinese bamboo tree. You plant the seed, water it, nurture it, year after year, and for 5 years there's nothing to show for your efforts. No sign of life above the ground. You wait, you wonder, and you question your choices. But during those 5 years, beneath the surface, something incredible is happening. The roots are growing deep. The foundation is being laid. And then suddenly, in just a matter of weeks, that bamboo tree shoots up to 80 feet tall. This story is a reminder that great things take time. The results we see are never the full picture. We often miss the hidden growth, the building, the development that's happening in silence below the surface. And yet most people give up before they see any results. They don't see the growth happening underground. They don't see that they're building their foundation, preparing for the breakthrough. They quit too soon. The truth is, success isn't a straight line. It's messy. It's full of setbacks, detours, and challenges. And those challenges are not obstacles to your success, they are your success. The hard times, the struggles, the failures, they are the lessons you need to move forward. They are the experiences that shape you, that prepare you for the success that's coming. But if you quit too soon, you never get to see the results. You never get to see the bamboo shoot up. Think about the resilience that has been built into the very fabric of American culture. From the Great Depression, when millions of people were thrown into poverty and hardship, to the Silicon Valley crash, when tech giants collapsed and left behind a trail of failure, to the countless comeback stories that have become part of the American dream. Resilience is the backbone of success. It's the ability to keep going when things are hard, when the path is unclear, when the dream seems out of reach. And it's the belief that no matter how many times you fall, you can get back up and try again. Resilience is built from the courage to continue. It's about finding the strength to move forward even when the world seems to be pushing against you. It's about the choice to get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going. And it's not always easy. In fact, it's often the hardest thing you'll ever do. But it's also the most rewarding, because when you keep going, when you push through the obstacles, you grow stronger. And every obstacle you overcome becomes the foundation for the next level of your success. So how do you build that resilience? How do you stay in the game when everything inside you says to quit? One of the most powerful tools you can use is your mindset. You have the power to choose how you respond to life's challenges. You can choose to see obstacles as roadblocks, or you can choose to see them as opportunities for growth. To help you with this, I want to introduce a simple practice that can help you reframe your obstacles and transform them into fuel for your journey. It's called the Obstacle Journal. Every day, take a few minutes to write down one challenge you're facing and one lesson you've learned from it. It could be something small, like a difficult conversation at work, or something bigger, like a personal setback. The key is to focus on the lesson, instead of letting the obstacle define you. Use it to define your growth. This practice forces you to shift your perspective. It helps you see the lesson in every struggle, the growth in every failure. Instead of feeling defeated by the obstacle, you start to see it as the training ground for your success. You begin to recognize that every hardship, every challenge is an opportunity to become stronger, smarter, and more capable. When you start looking at life this way, you begin to realize that the obstacles are not the problem, they are the solution. They are the very things that will shape you into the person you need to become in order to achieve your dreams. So the next time you face a challenge, instead of feeling frustrated or discouraged, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How is this experience helping me grow? This shift in perspective is not easy. It requires patience, faith, and perseverance. But it's also incredibly powerful. Because when you stop seeing obstacles as threats and start seeing them as stepping stones, you begin to unlock your true potential. It's easy to look at the success stories of others and think, why can't that be me? You see someone who's achieved something remarkable and you wonder how they did it. But the truth is, they didn't get there by avoiding obstacles. They got there by facing them head-on, by learning from every failure, and by refusing to give up when things got tough. The real difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent or luck, it's resilience. It's the courage to continue even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. In the face of adversity, it's natural to feel like giving up. But remember, quitting is the only way to guarantee failure. If you walk away, you'll never know how close you were to success. But if you keep going, if you face each obstacle with the mindset of a winner, you will eventually cross the finish line. And when you do, you'll look back and realize that every obstacle was a necessary part of your journey. So I challenge you to keep going. When life gets hard, when the road gets tough, don't give up. Use the obstacles as fuel, use the pain as motivation. Keep writing your story one chapter at a time, and remember that every setback is a setup for a comeback. The bamboo tree didn't grow overnight, but when it did grow, it soared to heights it couldn't have reached without the years of unseen growth beneath the surface. The same is true for you. Your dreams are possible, your success is waiting for you. But you have to be willing to face the obstacles, to be patient, and to have the courage to continue, no matter how difficult it seems. Because on the other side of every struggle is a version of you who is stronger, wiser, and ready to take on whatever comes next. Building something extraordinary takes time. It's not a sudden explosion of success. It's the quiet, consistent work done day after day, brick by brick. Think about the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Every day, workers laid hundreds of thousands of bricks and beams, slowly but steadily, until they created something magnificent, something that would stand the test of time. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen with one giant leap. It happened because no matter how small the progress, they moved one step closer to completion. And that is how you build your life. Life is not built in a day, a month, or even a year. The greatest achievements are not forged in one lightning bolt of inspiration or a stroke of genius. They're built in the quiet moments, the small decisions, the consistent actions, the work that no one sees, the moments when you feel like giving up, the days when the journey feels too long, too hard, too slow. But remember this, progress is greater than perfection. The journey is far more important than the destination. We are so focused on the end result, on reaching the summit, on crossing the finish line, on achieving the big dream, that we forget the importance of the path we take to get there. The destination will come, but the journey is where the real transformation happens. The process of getting there, the small wins, the lessons learned. The obstacles overcome is what shapes you into the person you need to become. It's easy to get frustrated, to look at where you are and wonder if you'll ever get there. But let me tell you something, the journey is not just a necessary evil. It is the reward. Imagine if you could enjoy the process as much as you desire the end result. Imagine if, instead of constantly feeling overwhelmed by how far you have to go, you could savor every step you take, no matter how small. You see, it's easy to focus on the destination and forget that every step, every day, every choice is part of your success story. The little things matter. They always matter. Every action you take is building the life you're striving for. Every moment spent showing up for yourself, every habit you form, every small victory you celebrate is a brick in the foundation of the person you are becoming. So here's the truth. You don't need to change the world in one night. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to improve yourself 1% every day. That's the key. That's how you build something remarkable. Slowly, steadily, but with purpose. Brick by brick. It's not about being perfect. It's not about making huge changes all at once. It's about showing up every day and making one small change at a time. Over time, those changes add up and you begin to see the results you've been working toward. One tool that can help you appreciate the journey and the progress you're making is the journey jar. Every day, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned, what you've accomplished, or something you're grateful for. Write it down on a small piece of paper and put it in the jar. It could be something simple like, I was kind to myself today, or I learned a new skill. By the end of the year, when you look at the jar, you'll see how much you've grown, how many small steps you've taken. You'll realize that the journey, all those little moments, were what led to your success. The journey jar is more than just a tool, it's a practice. A practice that forces you to pause and recognize your progress. A practice that helps you celebrate the small wins, no matter how insignificant they seem. Every day you're creating a collection of moments that show you just how far you've come. And when the hard days come, and they will, you'll have the jar to remind you that you are capable, that you are making progress, that you are building something incredible. But let's take this a step further. When you focus only on the destination, you miss out on the beauty of the journey. You get caught in the trap of perfectionism, thinking that you have to do everything right, do everything at once, be perfect all the time. But perfection doesn't exist, it never has, and waiting for it only holds you back. The truth is, imperfection is part of the journey. The mistakes, the setbacks, the days when nothing goes as planned, they are all part of the process. Embrace them, learn from them. They are the stepping stones that lead to where you want to be. Take a look at your life right now. What's one small thing you can do today to build the life you want? Maybe it's starting that workout you've been putting off. Maybe it's reading one chapter of the book you've been meaning to finish. Maybe it's taking the first step toward a career change or calling a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Whatever it is, take that first step today. Because like laying bricks in front of the Golden Gate Bridge, each small action you take today is a brick in the foundation of your future. And remember, this isn't about perfection. This is about progress. It's about moving forward even when it's difficult. It's about choosing to take one small step every day, trusting that those small steps will eventually lead you to the life you want. Progress is greater than perfection. The journey is greater than the destination. Because it's not about where you end up, it's about who you become along the way. So take a moment to reflect on the journey you're on. Celebrate the small wins. Celebrate the lessons learned, the obstacles overcome, and the person you're becoming. It's all part of building the life you want. You don't need to change the world overnight. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to improve yourself 1% every day, one brick at a time. In the end, when you look back at the bridge you've built, you'll see that every brick you laid, no matter how small it seemed, was a part of something magnificent. And that's when you'll realize you've created the life you've always dreamed of. As we come to the end of this journey, it's time to reflect on the lessons we've learned together. We've explored the power of small daily steps, the idea that 1% improvement every day can change the trajectory of your life in ways you can't always see at first. We've talked about the magic of consistency, the quiet but profound impact of habits, and the way small wins, seemingly insignificant in the moment, compound over time to create massive change. We've also discussed the challenges that come with transformation, the doubts, the struggles, and the temptation to quit when things get tough. But here's the truth we've uncovered. Success doesn't come from one big breakthrough. It comes from the relentless commitment to improve a little every day, to keep showing up even when progress seems slow, and to trust the process even when the results aren't immediately visible. Throughout this journey, we've learned that discipline is the bridge between where you are today and where you want to be. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about building the foundation, brick by brick, and recognizing that progress is more important than perfection. The road ahead may be long and filled with challenges, but with each small step you take, you're getting closer to your goals. We've also seen how obstacles, those moments of discomfort, frustration, and struggle, are not the enemy. In fact, they are the catalyst for growth. Every obstacle is an opportunity to build resilience, to learn, and to keep pushing forward. When we face challenges with the right mindset, they become stepping stones that propel us toward our dreams. And we've discovered the importance of celebrating the journey, not just the destination. Every small victory, every lesson learned, is worth acknowledging because it's the journey that shapes us into the people we are meant to become. So, what's the big takeaway from this entire story? It's simple. Change doesn't happen overnight. It happens through small, consistent actions. It happens when you decide to show up every day, even on the days when it's hard, when you don't feel like it, and when you think you're not making any progress. The truth is, life isn't about waiting for the big moments. It's about the small decisions you make every day. Whether it's getting up early to work on your dreams, taking a few minutes to meditate, reading a page of a book, or simply deciding to take one small step toward a healthier lifestyle, you are building the future you want. Each small step matters, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. You are in fact laying the foundation for something extraordinary, one small decision at a time. Now, as you step forward from here, ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do today that will move me 1% closer to my goal? Maybe it's something small. Maybe it's a new habit you want to form or a small victory you want to celebrate. Whatever it is, commit to it today. Remember, small wins fuel big dreams, and each tiny step you take today will compound over time to create something monumental. Now, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What small step will you commit to today? What obstacles have you faced and how have they helped you grow? I'd love for you to share your insights in the comments below. Let's learn from each other's experiences and grow together. And before we wrap up, I'd like to ask you to do one more thing. If you found value in the lessons shared here, if this story has resonated with you, and if you want to continue learning how to improve your life step by step, subscribe to the channel. Your support helps me create more content that inspires and empowers people like you to take action, build resilience, and make lasting change. Together, we can continue this journey of growth one small step at a time. Thank you for being part of this incredible experience. I look forward to hearing your thoughts, learning from your stories, and continuing this journey together. Remember, you don't need to change the world in a day, you just need to improve yourself 1% every day. Keep going, you've got this.